Recording is rolling. It's Friday, April 24. You guys have a treasure map. We're going to do this outside activity, orienteering. You guys get to find some treasure. Right, so your map says start at the west end field goal post. So when we go back behind the skull, this is the field goal post that's closest to us, closest to the skull, right? And if you draw a line across to the opposite field goal post, that's a good east-west line right there. So we'll start on the west side, the opposite is the east side, which means that that way's north and that way's south. Okay, so now we know some directions. Okay? And it says walk so many meters at such and such angle and so on. Right? Okay, but then we got three directions. So after you complete that, then you turn and walk this way for this part, and then this way, this part, right? And so got a set of directions. Now, what you're looking for is there's one of these staked in the ground, staked all the way down, so it's like flush with the ground, right? It's about the size of a dime. When you find that, then I will hand you a spade and you can dig up the treasure. Dig up the treasure. And so yesterday I showed you guys how to read bearing. I'll pull up these notes from yesterday to remind you guys, right? I'll say start western field goal post, right? Now bearing is a convention that people came up with. It's always direction relative to a north-south line, right? Which is how all these directions are listed, right? So it says 25 meters, 30 degrees east to north. Now, maybe this is easier on paper because you can take a protractor, plop this down at the origin point and sweep out 30 degrees, point. Now I know I'm going 30 degrees. Okay? Right, out in the field, you have to figure that out. So, okay, I have to identify my north-south line and estimate pretty good as well as you can. What is 30 degrees east of that? And so it's east of the north-south line. Okay? And then once you get to that point, maybe you get your second direction that says so many meters, so many degrees, like east of south. So relative to, again, a north-south line, but now look at south, and what's 50 degrees east of that? Well, it sweeps out like this angle right here. Right? And then, of course, if you're picking up from this point, then it'd be that direction. Right? And then there would be a third direction tagged on to that. And so bearing always relative to that north-south line, how many degrees east or west it could be of that north-south line. Students are usually pretty good at figuring out these angles, but also these distances, meters. And so 1 meter, I have a meter stick right here. If I put this on the floor, it's a little bit more than 3 floor tiles. And so you can use that to estimate your distances. Okay, so everybody has a treasure map. You should mention this too. There are different versions of these maps. Right? This one says 4C. You might have 4A or 4B or 4D. All I did is I rearrange these directions so that everybody's not walking around in one giant ball. But it turns out you don't actually have to follow these directions in any particular order. They'll all end up at the same final location regardless. Right, so be heading outside, find some treasure.